my great pleasure to introduce to you Bernard Tyson, our President and Chief Operating Officer at Kaiser Permanente. Bernard has been one of the key leaders in taking Kaiser Permanente to the point of where it is not only recognized among the national health plans as the leader in both quality and service, he has also taken us to the point of where we're recognized as the model for what healthcare should be moving into the future, the post-healthcare reform world. I'd like to give you a sense of Bernard's leadership in our organization. As a leader, he pushes us, drives us to be the best. He compels our work units to articulate their goals. He translates those goals into measurements, and he makes sure that people year after year increase their performance with respect to those measurements. Accountability is his middle name. At the same time, he's also one of the most beloved leaders in Kaiser Permanente. It is clear what motivates him. It is the well-being of our patients, our employees, and our communities. He also listens to different perspectives, and he's open about his thinking on matters. All of this inspires loyalty and confidence. Bernard is also a champion of diversity and inclusion. He's been the force behind our effort to be the first healthcare organization in the $1 billion roundtable. He's the chairman of the Executive Leadership Council, whose members are the top 450 African-American executives in the Fortune 500. And most importantly, he's the essential leader behind our organization's drive to eliminate health disparities between majority and minority populations in the United States. Finally, I'd like to make a personal point about Bernard's leadership that will be particularly relevant to this group. Bernard has interwoven his background and who he is with his leadership of our $50 billion organization. He's the son of a minister. He comes from a community orientation. He brings to Kaiser the warmth, the authenticity, the humor, the love of people and of immediate things in life that is who he is and where he comes from. He shows his love of life and people, and that enables him to connect with the workforce in a way that is truly special and inspiring. I give you Bernard Tyson.
Wow, thank you, Mark. After that introduction, I want to give you back 20 minutes. I'm gone. I don't want to blow that introduction. My God, you put pressure on me. Mark is just a wonderful, wonderful individual, and he's amazing to work with. He's one of the smartest individuals I know. He knows the law like you can't believe. Sometimes I wonder if he's making some stuff up. It's so profound. I was getting ready to go to Hawaii to do something, and I wanted to do something on behalf of the organization. And Mark got wind that I made a certain statement at a meeting. And without going into the details, Mark figured that he had to educate me on what I can and cannot say when I'm going to this meeting. So Mark called me and Mark said, Bernard, I need to talk to you before you have this meeting tomorrow. I said, well, Mark, I'm really booked right now. I'm headed to the airport. And Mark said, I'll ride with you. I was like, ooh. This is serious. Mark rode with me to the airport. We rode to San Francisco together. And the next day, I was scared to talk. So I'm assuming that's the way you all work, right? You get in our heads and you condition us, and Mark can describe what a prison cell looks like. I'm thinking all the time, oh my God. And then we had Mark and his wife over for brunch one day, and my wife and I were headed back to the house after brunch. And Denise said, wow, Mark is really intelligent. And I said, yes, baby, only the best at Kaiser Permanente. So thank you, Mark, for that wonderful introduction. I am honored to be invited as a guest to talk to you today. And I asked, how much time do I get? So I was told how much time I get. And so I have cut my remarks to fit within that box that you have given me on this afternoon. But I assure you, I have a lot to talk about if any of you want to stick around after my time. And what I want to make sure I do, because I discovered that sometimes when I give talks across the country and inside of Kaiser Permanente, I learned something last year. This is part of my remarks. I want to tell you the 3 takeaways I want you to hear from me today. And I'm not doing 3 because I took a speech class and I say, only give 3. I had 6, and my communication leader said, you will only do 3. So I want to talk about 3 things right quick before I take my seat. And I want to start first with what I call my simple philosophy of the glass being half empty or the glass being half full. I want to cover that. And then secondly, I want to talk about you incorporating the business after. And then I want to end on what I think all of you should be signing up for, which is a much higher calling. To be a part of something bigger than any individual in this room. So I'm going to give you those 3 things up front, because sometimes I get so excited when I can speak to an audience like this, and I drive my communication leader crazy because she's looking through the notes and she's going, wow, there are no notes for him to say these things that he said. So she kind of, at times, wonder where I'm going with this. And so last year I was giving a talk, and that's why I started to give my themes ahead of time that I just gave you, for example. I was giving a talk last year, and I had really worked on this because it was important to me that I deliver the right message to a wonderful group of IT leaders in Kaiser Permanente who was doing just tremendous work. And for some reason, I was a little irritated because I had just got the iPhone 4 when it came out, not the 5, the 4, and I put all of my songs in the quote cloud. And I went to Texas for my American Heart Association board meeting, and I got on the plane, and I was in the mood to hear a certain song, and the song happened to be Lil Wayne, Out of Love. So I turned on my, that's a true story, I turned on my iPhone, I turned on my iPhone to Lil Wayne, and I discovered in the clouds that my music was in the clouds, and I couldn't go there. So I complained the entire time on American Airlines, and a flight attendant finally said, sir, I don't work for iPad or Apple, I'm sorry. So I was telling this story to the IT group the next day, and I looked out on the audience, and I noticed that half of the audience knew Lil Wayne. The other half of the audience didn't. So the half of the audience that knew Lil Wayne was saying, wow, our president is really cool. And the half that didn't know Lil Wayne was going, he must be under a lot of pressure. No idea. So I went down this path of describing Lil Wayne. And I said, Lil Wayne is actually a genius. He just got out of jail, a few issues, and then I went on to tell him that you can listen to How to Love, but I would not recommend you buy his album because the other songs are pretty, explicit. What I didn't know was that they were tweeting as I was speaking. So I drove back to the corporate office, and I was standing in the elevator to get on the elevator.